Good evening, one and all. Stand by as I just double check stuff before we get started here. It's amazing how things have changed over the last few years. Oh well. We're in the process of trying to update this drawing, so we're ready to take it to the paper. This is an experimental sort of concept. Alright, my music is a little too loud. Gonna tone that back. There we go. Alright, anyway. This is still more work that's going to be done on this project. Going to be taking it to the paper relatively soon. We were going to be doing some Fortnite over on the Alaska Jeff channel, but that is getting put on pause because the update for the game is happening. So it happens. Let's see here. One thing I do want to check. Okay, never mind. Still working on a big update for the website as well as for the community. The update is going to be fun. At least it has been fun for me. Hopefully others find enjoyment in it when it finally does come out. One of the next parts of that whole process has been finalized, or at least pretty close to finalized. And that means I think right now two major items left on the list. Oop, and maybe one more minor thing in addition to it. If I was to press forward and get it done as quickly as possible, we're talking about 2 weeks. I'm fairly certain about that. Maybe a little bit faster. I'll try and get done as much as I can on the weekends and during my time off, but it is a busy time still, and it might not be able to get to that until mid-June. So we'll see. Anyway, if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask them. If you have any comments, I will respond as able. Otherwise, I'll try and stay as silent as much as possible. I ramble too much during these, and it does slow me down a bit. So I will try and be as quiet as possible, at least in terms of my own rambling. Greetings there, Bastion. How you doing? Lights is keeping you up. You know, the way to keep light out of the area, if you're, trying to get some rest or whatnot, you gotta close the blinds. That'll keep the light away. She's demanding coffee. Oh no. I didn't know the light operated off of coffee. Wonder if that's what keeps the sun going. It is what the world revolves around. Oh my. Well, indeed. It's kind of interesting to consider just how common coffee is in our culture. There was once a time that people would be turning to tea leaves as a source of keeping awake. Then along comes coffee and puts the world on a caffeine overdose. Coffee is actually a wonderful flavor in many ways. It is interesting just how common it is. definitely preferable to have that rather than something like Red Bull. Oh my goodness, energy drinks are so bad for you. Coffee, by comparison, is quite quite better. Yeah, can you overdose on it? Yes, you can. It can become quite problematic, actually. And sometimes your body type is just such that where it causes even more problems. But at least, it's a fairly natural thing. Energy drinks are about as unnatural as you can get. Wait a second. Oh. My sister got a new kitten. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's cute. Cats are great. I love cats. What a wonderful thing to have. One of the things that is very unfortunate is that the place that I'm at, you can't have pets. Which, honestly, kind of, I'd say it works out for the best for me. Because I could see a pet being poorly taken care of with how little I'm around the place, compared to what a pet kind of needs. But pets are a wonderful addition that you can have to your life. There were two times when I had to, when I befriended a neighborhood cat. One time was back on the East Coast. There was a cat, had an attitude, wouldn't let anybody approach her. And after about 3 months of just kind of calling to the cat and just getting down on my knees and just kind of holding out my hand. Finally, the cat came over and actually let me pet it. And after that point, the cat became super attached and would not leave the family's property. And so suddenly we went from having a cat inside and no cat outside to having a cat inside and a very territorial cat outside. And on the occasion, we would wake up and find out somehow the cat had snuck into the house. There are times where I have no idea how that happened because the house was pretty secure. And for a cat to sneak in like that was really surprising. But we'd come downstairs and find that the cat had made herself at home and would see our cat and then hiss and try and whack at him. It was like, Cat, you're the one who intruded. If there's anybody who should be thrown out, it's technically you. But Cat was honestly very sweet, even though after it took 3 months of, trying to be able to even approach the cat, and then at that point, the cat became virtually inseparable, and to the point of where the family that actually owned the cat found out about it because the cat was never around at their place. Well, the family was very neglectful, and I didn't feed the cat anything. All I did was spend time with it. All I did was pet it. And that was enough to win the cat's affection. Well, after about 2 years of that, the family finally moved, and they came over and said, "We want our cat back." And they were mean people, but the cat went with them, and I was always very disappointed just to think about that, because I thought, well, that cat was being treated well around us, and then when there was a storm and the cat had nowhere to hide, she would come over to our place and take shelter in the garage. During times when we were like, hey, it's not really safe for a cat outside right now, we would take the cat in. Super cold out, cat would come and look for warmth in our garage. And so we had this basket that was just like, that's the neighborhood cat's basket. We didn't feed the cat. We gave her water, but we didn't feed her. It was kind of an example of how an animal's loyalty is not built off of food alone. A lot of people like to think that. It's built upon affection. And that is something that I probably would not have realized if that had not happened. But I thought maybe it was a fluke. Well, years later, I graduated from school, and I was staying at an apartment, and there was another neighborhood cat in the neighborhood I was at. And I wasn't, it was a kind of a tough time of life. And one day I saw this cat just walking by, and the cat looked very hot because it had been a very warm summer. And so I put a little bit of water out. Cat came over and drank water, and I was able to pet it during that time frame. And the cat became inseparable at that point. The cat was always coming back, and he never was begging for food. All he wanted was water and some form of attention. That was a good cat. Very good cat. You know, over the next few months, I'm going to be trying to refine the projects that I've been working on for the last year. Going to refine them, make sure that they're even better. They'll be out, but refine them a little bit here and there, so that way they can be high quality moving forward. And because I'm going to need to kind of experiment a bit, see how to make things a little bit easier. But during that time frame, I might do a release of the Star Wars fan fiction under a different title, under my own title. Because I already have it written, and it kind of fits into the Star Wars lore, but it would never be accepted. It upends way too much of what Disney's done, and they would throw a fit over that. So I'll just make my own variation of it, most likely. Try and convey the story in that way. See what happens. Maybe it's a good idea, maybe it's a dumb idea. I have no idea. But based upon how things go, I'll with the release of stuff next month. Because right now I do think it'll be next month that I finally do the first release. I keep thinking, is it 2 weeks away? Is it a month away? I'm almost certain it's a month away at this point. But during that time frame, I'll need to know whether or not some of the things I've been doing is working. And the way to do that is by just putting out the first wave of ideas, let it set for a little bit, learn from the things that people like from it, the things that people didn't like, and then do the next part. And once I have a rhythm down, proceed from there. Good night. Need to go to bed. Rest well, Bastion. Hopefully you've gotten those, shades so the light doesn't bother you. Rest well, sir. See you next time. By the way, just a reminder, if you find anything of interest, or if you do not find anything of interest, would you consider liking or disliking? I would much appreciate it. Golly, allergies are kicking me right now. Have to have the window open and have a fan going right now because it's getting quite warm. But as a result, now all the pollen's in here, and probably not going to be able to go on for much longer tonight. We had some rain, and that brings all the pollen down to ground level once again. I know it's kind of a quiet night, so it's not like it's going to be really thought about by too terribly many people tonight, but something I do want to kind of mention, mostly so I can consider it, so next time I bring it up I'll be better spoken. This last week has seen a whole lot of changes to the world of communication. AI is great. Get away, you infernal bot. My eyes are really killing me right now. Anyway, AI is growing fast, and the last few days has seen a surge of AI content. I cannot tell you how much it sickens me. And the people that are using it are really like Cypher from The Matrix, gleefully using it because they think that somehow it is better than their current state of life. If you sell your soul to a machine, you don't get it back. You go down a very, very, very dark path. And I gotta say, I think we have officially crossed the line for a lot of people, and you're going to see a lot of pushback. The people that are all for AI are going to stand by and wonder why the anti-AI people are so adamant. This is not like the sewing machine. This is not like the automobile. This is going to replace everybody. It is not Terminator. It is just as insidious, though. It's a desire of mankind to control reality, to control truth. An AI video and art is an attempt to try and control truth. It can spit out in an instant what you want it to say. It has taken me days to get this much done. It would take an AI in a few seconds. But the machine has no heart. It has no soul. And despite what a lot of people are claiming, it is not a benefit to humanity. It is a curse. You can reverse course. It is possible. But it requires us to call out the people who are truly evil in this endeavor. And that is all the developers of AI. Elon Musk, in addition to that. Even though I like a lot of things he's done for our country, he is setting us up for a horrible, horrible future with his AI. As are all the other AIs all AIs are just as evil, and you cannot create a good AI. Because an AI is attempting to reason. If it's just spitting out information, kind of like some of the simpler droids in Star Wars, that's not a problem. It's when you start trying to treat it like it's flesh and blood, like it somehow has the ability to tell you truth. When you just check off your brain and allow the machine to think for you. It's insidious. And I cannot view people who use it the way that I used to. It really is a hard line. And we're going to become very familiar with the reason why in the next few years, next few days, weeks. It's already starting to happen. The number of people making fake content out there. Some people think it's just for entertainment. No, that's what the simple-minded think. This will be used for true mass deception. How do you find the truth now? You can just generate truth. You can no longer convince people with video evidence. If you use AI content, people are going to start doubting you. There's a channel, a news channel that I used to watch all the time. I can't watch it anymore because they're using AI for their thumbnails. If they're willing to do that, you know what? They're probably willing to do that in their videos. They're not news then. They're propagandists. I know, it's incredibly harsh to view people as if they're somehow making a deal with the devil over this. But that's how severe this thing is. Thousands, millions of people are going to lose their jobs as a result of this. But I don't believe that it needs to be. They're going to lose their jobs because companies are greedy and they don't care. All they care about is money. They don't care about the soul. If they did, then they wouldn't try and replace human beings with a machine. They don't care about your job. They'll cast you aside the moment they find a way to replace you. And they are going to do it. Robots are going to do it. And all those people that think that somehow they're going to be safe because they work as plumbers, no, the machine will do it too. They'll just reinvent the pipe so that way they can have an easy to access pipe for robots. God, just look at what they do with car manufacturing now. People thought that machines would never be able to take that over. Now it's mostly automated. They will come for all jobs. And the blue-collar people that think somehow that they're sticking it to the man by using it, all they care about is Hollywood. Have you noticed? The people that are all gung-ho about this AI image and video generating, oh, I can finally make my own movies. Oh yeah, it's going to be so great. I can leave stupid Hollywood behind. Soon they will be stupid Hollywood. Most people do not have good ideas when it comes to films. I know that hurts, but the more I have seen of people's fan fictions, the more I realize they should not be making media. They'll like it. They'll like their own stuff. But the thing is that they're going to kill an industry in spite, not realizing they're playing into the hands of the elites. They don't realize the part that they're playing in this whole debacle. It's going to get worse before it gets better. I don't fear for my job, but there's a lot of people that are going to fear for their jobs very, very soon. We've crossed that point. if I had no heart and soul like some businesses out there, and I found out that I could easily swap out the staff that I had with free labor, you think I wouldn't take it? Why do we need to have somebody create a logo for us? We'll just have the AI make it for us. Well, there goes all the logo creators. Actors have become so problematic. Why don't we just create a 3D model and then have the AI put it into the scene? We'll do it for background characters. Well, there goes all the background actors. You know, we don't need so many editors. We just need one writer. We'll have the editing done by the AI. There goes all your editors. They'll start with the lowest hanging fruit. The ones that are the most easy to replace. Then they'll go for the next batch. It happens every single time. Every single time throughout history in which there is a tyranny takeover. They start with the weakest and they climb the ladder slowly but surely. They finally get to the top, and then everyone's like, wait a minute. Everyone else is gone. But you can't get rid of us. Huh, we just got rid of everyone else beneath you. Think we can't get rid of you now? And then you turn to the people that are just above you saying, hey, they're trying to get rid of me. The people up top are like, we don't, well, they're coming for your job. They're not coming for us. Why do we care? And then they'll go to the next ladder. It happens all the time. They used to do that with cheap labor and slave labor. Now they'll start doing it for the AI. Horrible, horrible age to be in. We can resist it, though. But it would take a lot of people flat out refusing their wants and desires. The AI will take over because people are weak. Poor people are weak. I hate to have to put it that way, but a lot of people that are in poor positions struggle the most with this. They don't have the luxury to find more solutions. So to them, they're easy pickings. They'll be replaced first. And they will have contributed to it. Because they're like, oh, well, I can now use this tool and I can have a chance to make it big, to, finally escape my lot. Not realizing they're helping to contribute to the tool, the very tool that will replace them. They're just being the ones to be training it. And that's how it all begins. Use it. It's cheap. It'll help make your life easier. What it's doing is it's monitoring you. It is evaluating your skill set, your work. Because unlike a video, or unlike the massive collection of videos and photos or whatnot that AI can create all those videos off of, it can't create common work in the same way, because there's not the same level of stuff that you can just put in. You need people to input that, and you can't just put in videos. That's why the video AI is taken off so fast, and why it doesn't feel like the blue-collar workers are in trouble. They will be after the first wave of white-collar workers are hit, and they're already being hit. When the first wave of blue-collar workers gets hit, we won't know. It won't be until like the third or fourth time that we suddenly realize what's going on. I already saw a couple of years ago this pilot program that was going to use AI, and this was before AI really took off at the time, AI to allow people in other countries to control machinery in America. They were going to do construction work using Indian pilots halfway across the world to control the machines. They didn't need to hire American drivers. They just put in an AI. Well, an AI-driven pilot. The pilot puts in the inputs. The AI is correcting it, and what they're doing is they're training it. That was years ago. Now, it's pretty easy to pull that off. And now the AI will be able to do that without even the input from the person overseas. All of our jobs are in jeopardy. Elon Musk made that very clear. He wants to replace us. Which is kind of funny. He's so gung-ho about trying to protect humanity. But that's in the same mouth, he espouses the desire to want to help humanity, to protect it. He also sows seeds of its own destruction. He's a messed up man. It's a shame that that's the case, but the more I learned about him, the more I realized that he's really not the saint that a lot of people on the right make him out to be. He's an opportunist, and I feel like he is taking opportunities with our fascination with AI to become the sole provider of the robots of the future. Well, not the sole provider, but one of the main providers. Because robots are where it's at. It's not the AI. AI is just the brains behind the machine that is going to be the robots. And those robots, those droids, are going to be what replaces most blue-collar jobs. It is coming, and it's already begun. That's the part that really is freaking me out. Well, not freaking out, it's troubling me. Because it's already begun. AI was just like we already have the machines. We just didn't have a way to drive them. And now we do. It doesn't take much now. All the robotic stuff of trying to get robots to walk, that was very difficult for years. Suddenly we get the AI and now they're walking better than ever. I think Elon Musk in the next 5 years is going to be seen not as a savior, but as one of our great cultural destroyers. No one should ever be plugged into a machine. And he's the one who's pioneering that. I don't care all the stuff that he's doing for space. He's a humanist. Well, correction, he's a transhumanist. He doesn't even believe that we really have a soul. He's an atheist who's a transhumanist. He doesn't have any value for you. Doesn't have any value for any of us. We're just money to him. I like to see him actually come out and do something that, puts a stop on all this madness. He was just greasing the wheels by working for the government. He was greasing the wheels so his company would be able to fill the void. Yes, I am incredibly opinionated on this stuff, and I do not have any good opinions of Elon Musk, other than the fact that he helped root out government corruption. But he can't see his own corruption. And maybe that's how it is. We see another's corruption easily because it affects us. But what do we do when it's our own corruption? How do we see it in ourselves? How do we thwart it in ourselves? How do you say, I want to do good, but obviously there's something amiss. Others have told me it, but I'm not sure I really believe what they're saying. You can't believe everybody that complains about you. I do believe that. But how do you know the difference? Well, that means you have to find a source of truth. That's how you root out corruption. That's how you root out your own corruption. That's how you help to avoid becoming the villain. But if you don't have a foundation of truth, you will not be able to see it in yourself. Elon Musk cannot see it in himself because he doesn't have a source of truth. He has his own truth. When you answer to a higher power, you are less likely to be swayed by yourself. God has given us all the truth that we need in the scriptures. That's all it takes, honestly. Read the scriptures and you'll start to find ways to improve. But Elon Musk is not somebody who believes in that stuff. And if he does, he believes two things at once. I would find it fascinating to talk with him, but he's there's a lot of people that have found that he has kind of a double speech. One of those was when he was gaming and people found out that he was faking it. Then he doubled down saying, "I'm not faking it." Some people have claimed his rockets are not as effective as he claims, which has kind of been disproven because of how effective they've been with being caught. But I do believe that there's something else to the story. I'm not going to claim that somehow it's exactly how he says it. I'm not going to claim that's the way the conspiracy theorists say it. It's somewhere in the middle. But wealth is a big blinder. And I think that if Elon Musk was not as wealthy, maybe he'd be more willing to listen to the concerns that people have. Maybe he would listen to the concerns people of value and faith have with some of the things he has done and said. The fact that he is actively trying to find a way to create human cyborgs is disturbing enough. Throwing all the AI stuff just gets worse and worse. He doesn't have he has multiple kids that are of multiple women, which is a sin, especially since he's not marrying a lot of them. So you can't even claim that, oh, well, you know, it's kind of like the kings of old. He can't even claim that. So there's a lot of messed up parts about him. And I don't know what the future's going to hold. But I don't trust him to show us the way. I trust one and only one. And that is God. No human being, not a Republican, not a Democrat, not a politician, not a businessman. Those people will show us how to make wealth. They won't show us how to preserve our soul. So when you try and tell somebody who is only focused on wealth to be concerned about the soul, to be wary about it, they look at you and laugh and think, what's the point? Now, thankfully, Trump has been very open with realizing that there is some very divine moments in his life so far, and he realizes that there is a higher power that's watching over him. Now, whether or not he actually believes that it is God is up for debate, but he definitely has acknowledged God, and that is encouraging. Elon Musk, not so much. And so I think that when Trump hears about technology, he gets hopeful because he's trying to look out for people, and he truly does have a desire to want to see people succeed. But Elon Musk has a desire to see himself succeed. And I don't think that you can do that if you're actively trying to find ways to replace a human being. I'll believe that he cares when he, in good faith, destroys the machine, the very machine that he has made. Some people would say it's too late. I would say no. It is still possible to be destroyed. But it takes intent and takes a willing heart to undo the thing that you've spent all this time creating. If you've done something that is questionable, how hard is it to get rid of it? It's actually surprisingly hard to begin with. There's been a couple of times when I looked at something, it's like, I should not have made this. Sometimes it seems very simple at times. And it's like, oh, what's the big deal? Why trouble about it? It's like, well, because there's something that's convicting me about it. I tell you what, I have deleted things in the past that I'm like, that should not have been made. And to delete it was hard. I go up with the mouse, get ready to delete, and I would just hover, waiting for some sort of inspiration. Sometimes I didn't delete it, and it would trouble me for days. And other times when I was finally, okay, it's time, I hit delete, and the guilt of, not of doing something wrong, but guilt of waste would come over. And you're like, but I made that. Why would I want to get rid of it? And then you're trying to go back and try and salvage it. But there's some things that should not be made. And I think Elon Musk has made something that should not be made. Granted, he's not the only one, but it's his research and his investments that is contributing to all these other ones. And AI must be stopped. So, this comes the question. Do you delete the work that you've done so far? Or do you say, oh, well, let's just double down? I think if you double down, you're saying you actually agree with it. And when people get hurt, you're like, well, I at least made money off of it. That's what concerns me. You know, the character that I've been drawing for the last couple of days, it's actually a story about something like that. It's about somebody that makes a mistake and has to pay the price for it. As a result, it has to lose a great deal in order to try and find redemption. I think it's a powerful story arc, and one that's not explored enough. There's a lot of people that they will write stories that are about characters that it's like they know how to do right, but they're always hoping that, well, maybe the villain will make it to where I can actually get things back again. And they think that somehow that they can sneak in a way to make it where the character looks like they sacrificed something, but it's actually the villain that sacrificed something. This character of Milo is not such a person. When he gets bit hard, and he's having to pay the price not only of his own sins, but the sins of others. And that is what drives him down his path. It's actually a story arc that I've been wanting to tell for a long time. An idea of a civil man that has to work and live and dwell among uncivil men. It's a very interesting concept. Because I know a couple of people that are civil, or want to think that they're civil, and they're willing to tear others apart. Now, there's something to be said for standing up against evil. But there's some people, they just want to see things burn because they got burned. And that's the sort of conundrum that Milo finds himself in. There's people who have hurt him, and there's people that he has hurt. And he's left with the challenge of trying to figure out what does he do to salvage it. There was a chance that I had a couple of years ago to really cause somebody a lot of pain. And I didn't. And they turned around and did it to me instead. And it was a very frustrating thing of that, but wait a minute, I had the opportunity to do something I didn't. And why do you want to do this to me? I was trying to, well, I thought that they would have the same level of sense of honor and would want to try and do the same. And they wouldn't. And it baffled me because the people found it humorous, found it entertaining. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize people actually were like that. I mean, I would hear about it in stories. I had never seen it firsthand. And I got to see it firsthand. I found it fascinating because up until that point, I hadn't realized just how difficult it is to look the other way and not to try and seek vengeance. That's why I won't even mention who it was. Because in the end, we have the choice. Are we going to be bettered by it? Or are we going to become embittered by it? But that doesn't mean that you stop standing for truth. Just because you show mercy doesn't mean you don't stand for truth. Again, that's another part of who Milo is. It's trying to explore this idea of how do you stand for truth without being someone of vengeance and cruelty. That's a big part of the overarching plot of the story, of which story coming soon-ish. After we finish this area right here, we'll call it quits for the evening, because allergies are strong. And we're at almost the 2-hour marker. And I think it's about probably good enough for the evening. We'll do something tomorrow. Probably Fortnite. I'm going to let that update. That will be on the Alaska Man Jeff channel. If you have any ideas of things you want to see on this channel, by all means, mention it. I'm looking for inspiration. Because I know that some of the ideas I've done have not quite panned out. Trying to find a way forward. Anyway, yeah, we'll leave it at that point. Anyway, have a pleasant evening and morning, everybody. Just a reminder, no matter who you are, be civil to one another. And we will see you next time, whenever that is. Till next time, folks, have a very pleasant evening.